Having zero sugar sounds like a great idea to lose weight. Wrong. It's a false positive because you will see yourself lose weight by doing it because you are restricting yourself. But what happens after? Do you continue to lose weight or do you regain the weight? I see this happen often where you get rid of something like sugar and you think that that's going to help fix what you're really struggling with. I'm Lee Agbohlah with L2 Performance. In this video, I will share why having sugar in your diet can actually be a good thing. So be sure to like and subscribe. We think discipline is the issue. You hear it often that you're just not disciplined enough with your diet, within your workout. So you really need to focus on your discipline if you're going to lose weight. I'm here to say I don't believe that. In my 10 years of coaching, I'm helping hundreds of clients get to make transformation. The discipline that you think is different from the discipline I really think that you need to change. It's not discipline to say that you don't need sugar, or you don't need carbs, or you don't need fatty foods. You can do anything if you believe. You can train your mind. I'm big into mindset, and I know how important it is that you have mindset coaching within what you're doing, but doing it that way isn't going to really help yourself. Because unless you're going to go zero sugar for the rest of your life, then it's not going to work for yourself. Because soon as you put the sugar back in to what you're doing, now you're just going to crave it more, and you're going to binge it more. You're going to want it more until you get to the point where the weight that you just lost, that you're just going to regain back. That's not a recipe for success. You have to do it the opposite way. Figure out what you need to eat more on versus taking away from yourself. That is what is the game changer for my clients. It improves the relationship with their eating because they start focusing on what they should eat more versus what they need to take away from their diet. You have to understand this. It wasn't one candy bar, wasn't one bowl of ice cream, one donut or one cookie that got you to where you're at right now. If you have noticed yourself get overweight or even obese, it wasn't just that one action. It has been repetitive actions over time. And it's easy to point the blame on sugar, but what else did that happen for yourself? What else did you eat within your diet to get there? Because overconsumption is always going to be the culprit to anything. Because if we can understand within moderation how to control what we put into our bodies, then you will see yourself be able to not only lose weight, but keep it off for good. You can, of course, go without sugars. And I don't think it's a bad thing per se, but it's like if that is your tactic that you're going to just put in a strategy is just to remove, what are you really solving? You're just proving, that you can do it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Where does that leave you after that? Like I said, zero sugar for 90 days, awesome. You may lose a good chunk of your weight loss goal or maybe even hit it within those 30 days. But what happens after, like I said, right? Are you just gonna go back to the way you were eating before? That is the problem, is you can't temporarily fix your eating problem by doing it for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months, or even a year. As long as you're living, you have to understand that what you're doing is a lifestyle. Focus on lifestyle changes. You have to have a true transformation, but thinking differently from what you're thinking is the issue that you're facing. Because yes, if you had something for a very short-term goal that you had to make a weight, but it's not likely that's going to be you, because unless you're going through competition sports where it's for that period of time you have to be at a certain weight, that's not how your lifestyle works. Because this is going to continue that you can build upon and continue to grow from. This is why I don't care about going no alcohol or no sugars or no carbs. It's a recipe for success if we're just talking about within this year or 6 months or 3 months, 30 days. Okay, yeah, in that short period of time, you're gonna see tremendous weight loss because you're just restricting so much that you're really taking away from the usual calories that you may have. And often when we think of sugars, we think of that as the issue. I really don't believe in the sugar addiction that is being pushed right now. I think it's overconsumption addiction. We're just eating too much. I don't believe sugar's changing your brain chemistry like drugs that are illegal, that people are claiming that's what sugar does to your brain. I have times where, yes, I want some sugars and I want some, fatty things within that, like a donut or a cookie, but I could easily go without it and be fine. It's moderation. And yes, you may be someone where that's a trigger food and you struggle with that more. So you probably need to have less of that in your house because you can't control it as much. But that doesn't mean that you can't have it every now and then, but you have to understand what are your limitations when it comes to having these certain foods. Because there's certain things I understand for myself as well. I'm not gonna buy or put in my house often because I know I'm gonna overeat it. It doesn't mean I don't allow myself to have it every now and then. That is what you really have to understand, is figuring out what is the issue that you're really facing. What are the different triggers you may have that causes you to overeat? Because binge eating could just be as bad. Because if you remove these things and then finally freedom, you put it around yourself, you're more likely to binge. And that's what has been caused the issue when it comes to weight loss cycling. More than 90% of adults after successful weight loss transformation within 2 years will gain more weight than they originally lost, because you're following that restriction for that period of time. But then what happens after? So focus on how I can eat more of the things I need to, and how I can reduce what I need to have happen. So when I'm working with my clients, we do things that are going to help them to reduce overconsumption of certain foods they shouldn't. But I don't take that completely away from their diet, because I understand that this is something that they can control if they understand how to focus on eating more foods that are going to fuel their body, to give them what they really need. Because we just think we crave these things. That's your appetite talking. Your appetite is always going to want the things that taste really good. And food only gets better and better at tasting really well. That's what these companies do. They understand that. They want you to eat more. That's how they increase their bottom line, of course. But for you, you have to be able to fight against that. But it's not about completely taking away. It's not about completely taking away. Because if you can understand how to put that within your diet, you can do like hundreds of clients I've helped out to make transformations. And it's not about restriction. I don't restrict anything I do, and I wouldn't put it within my clients. So focus on what you need to eat more of. Focus on reducing what you put into the house, and understanding what are your triggers that leads to the overconsumption. So I want you to have the big takeaway from this, to understand that you don't need to go on a 0 sugar binge for 90 days, or you don't have to feel like I'm gonna go for a week, 30 days. That 0 sugar binge, why I call it a binge, is because it's like you're removing so much of it, you're taking away, but then you put it back in, and then you just are going to go crazy on it because your body has missed it so much. That's what happens. So let's get rid of that. Do it the right way by understanding making changes to create habits to lose the weight, and then you will see yourself make a true transformation. So let me know in the comments, are you going on this path of restriction, of taking things away? Have you done this in the past and seen how it hasn't worked? What are you doing right now to help yourself lose weight? What were your takeaways from what I talked about in this video? So be sure to like and subscribe and watch the next video.